speaks for itself. And the tip to Raven Johnson, who will run the point and get it to Tania Latson, who returns to the lineup today for South Carolina, wearing a knee brace after missing the last 2 games, and she will take the first shot attempt, and a good box out for Tennessee to head the other way with it.
But great box out by every member of the team, and that's why they were able to get the board as Barker goes right to work.
Janiah Barker, the senior from Marietta, Georgia, at her 3rd different school. Latson had it knocked loose. Check out the starting 5 for South Carolina with Edwards in the middle. Joyce, one of the best post players in the country. And that's going to be a traveling violation and a turnover. Edwards comes in averaging 20 per game.
Tennessee a little bit undersized at the 5 spot. So you saw the help side come in off of Raven Johnson while she got the wide open look on the perimeter.
Starting unit for Tennessee led by Talaysia Cooper, a former Gamecock. And Mia Paldo, a freshman from Paterson, New Jersey, runs the show. They are a team that substitutes heavily and gets a lot of fresh legs onto the floor so they can run up and down the court. The standings in the Southeastern Conference coming into play today. Carolina at 9-1, Tennessee right there behind at 7-1.
Already, we're just over a minute into the game. You see the first substitutions for Tennessee. You also see on the dead ball they're going to extend their full court pressure. Key for them is to try to speed you up, get turnovers, make this as fast and frenetic a pace as they can.
Turn you over at this end of the floor, and they shoot almost 50% of their shots at the other end of the floor from downtown. Johnson, the lob in, a touch for Edwards. Front rims it. And here comes Jada Civil, fresh into the game. She'll go coast to coast, hard off the window. And the leak out goes the other way with Latson missing the layup. And the foul is good from Raven Johnson and 1.
So you see the quick shot from Tennessee on one end. Often it's a three-pointer or a quick shot that leads to transition the other way. Tennessee has not been a good defensive transition team this year. Credit Raven Johnson for not giving up on the play, getting right there, getting the O-board, and now the opportunity at the free throw line.
All Raven has done in her 5th year now at South Carolina is win SEC championships. She's won one every year. She's gone to the Final Four. She's won a national championship and is enjoying her best numbers offensively this season.
We were asking Dawn Staley about that earlier today, and she said, you know, Raven scored when she was in high school. When she came here and the talent she was surrounded by, and you see her getting it done on the defensive end as well. So she kind of became more of a facilitator. This year she stepped up the scoring as that's what they need from her.
Ball back to Cooper. She'll try for 3 and hit it. They will launch 31 per game, and if they can get 10 of them to go down, they are in business. Here is Johnson, the 5th year, working on the freshman. They get Edwards another touch inside, and she's fouled by Prawl.
South Carolina will also extend their full court pressure, and here you see Raven Johnson just coming in, active hands. She has long arms, and she sometimes gets blocks that you don't expect. That time you saw the steal, and then Cooper the other way, stepping in confidently.
Edwards is the sophomore from Camden, South Carolina. Recently joined the 1,000-point club. And she's done it faster than any player in the Dawn Staley era over the last 18 years, even faster than Asia Wilson or Leah Boston. Both who had tremendous success here and continue to do so in the WNBA. And another turnover forced by the South Carolina defense. Tennessee trying to force South Carolina to start their offense way out by midcourt. Latson, another lob over the top. Good help coming from Cooper for the steal. Wide wide open look for Prawl. That's off the mark. Latham skies for the rebound and a foul on South Carolina.
That rebound was ridiculous. You said she skied for it. She was coming in from the opposite side, read the ball the entire way, then just climbed up there to grab it.
Fouls on Tessa Johnson, her first. Tessa back in the lineup after getting dinged up in their last game. They are without Maddie McDaniel, so they are down a guard on the perimeter this afternoon. And still without Got Makir on the inside, and there's a reach-in foul going to be called on Raven Johnson.
Z Spearman had the basketball out on the perimeter. I'm really intrigued by her. 6'4", long athlete. She's proven that she can face up, attack the basket. Really good offensive rebounder, really good rim runner. I think her future is really bright at the next level as well.
She had 38 minutes logged in their Georgia game. She is playing a few more minutes. They just made another hockey line change, but there are a few players now that are up over 30 per game as Kim Caldwell sort of adjusts to the moment. Sybil, corner three is good. So a couple already here for Tennessee at an 8-7 advantage.
Getting some good looks off of dribble penetration and then kicking out to the shooter in the corner here. Just a stunt from the help defender, and that just gives enough space to get the open three-point look.
So already 10 different Lady Vols have played in the first 3.5 minutes, and they are able to force a turnover and run it the other way, and a missed layup from Barker, and an injured player, Mia Paldo, back out at midcourt. That could be big for Tennessee because the freshman has been their leading scorer in SEC play. Has a handful of 20-point performances. One of the top 10 recruits coming out of high school last year. Edwards drops it off as they attack the press.
Well, how about as a luxury to have your four-player being the one who brings the ball up the floor and facilitating.
Tipped up and in by Barker, and the quick response from Tennessee.
Janaea Barker's come out and been very nicely aggressive on the offensive end of the floor.
South Carolina, after missing their first 4 shots, have now hit 3 in a row. Johnson gets into the paint, floats one up, and that'll go. 4 straight buckets. Off the bounce, nice ball fake to start it for Barker.
And there are times this season where Janaea Barker will just settle for the 3 in that situation. I think that was a really good decision by her. Just a little fake and then driving to her strong right side.
2 ties, 6 lead changes already. And Kim Caldwell, well, check off one of the concerns she had coming in. We have to get out to a good start, and they've done that. First 5 minutes. Edwards, mid-range, one and done. Maya Robertson. Barker going to work again. Missed the chippy. Caught with the rebound. Caught. Look at the big girl running the floor, and Raven finds her.
Raven Johnson navigated that perfectly. Went to the left side. Knew Akot was coming behind her. Waited for the right time to deliver it to her big.
Lauren Hurst, another freshman into the lineup. Shot clock winding down. They got a jack. 3-pointer on the way, and it's good. Talaysia Cooper with the basket. 3 triples here in the first quarter.
And oftentimes this season, Tennessee's fortunes have gone as their 3-pointers have gone. So a good start for them from deep.
Last year, their worst three-point shooting game was against Carolina. They've already matched it with 3 triples. And the response from Tessa Johnson. End to end we go here in Columbia. Civil off the nice fake, gonna foul. And that's gonna be a block. Both teams shooting better than 50% so far in the quarter. And Jada Civil will be at the free throw line. You know, already more of a roller coaster ride than last year. South Carolina has won the last 8 in this series. Of course, long dominated during the Pat Summitt era by the Lady Vols. But since Dawn Staley has been around, it has been the Gamecocks ruling the roost in the SEC. And they have won 53 consecutive SEC home games coming in today. McDowell and Raven Johnson now in there together with Tania Latson, who's wearing the knee brace, the transfer from Florida State. Good drive, Joyce Edwards.
Joyce Edwards is so good when she has a little bit of space with which to work. When she faces up at about 15 to 17 feet, she can find her way to the basket.
All alone for 3 is Paldo. And then taken away by Cooper. Mia Paldo able to return to the game, had to leave temporarily to get checked out.
See Joyce Edwards when she catches and faces the basket. She's got pretty solid handles, and here she just has a quickness and can find her way and finish around the rim. She can go right, she can go left. Usually when she gets into the paint, she's got terrific balance.
5 double-doubles, 13 times this year with 20 points or better. Off to a fabulous start to her career in her sophomore season. She'll drive, bothered on the shot, and a foul on the drive.
But how good is she? Like right on that free throw line area when she faces up, because she does have a really quick first step, especially for someone her size, a 4 player. Can get by most defenders and then collects herself well around the rim.
More wholesale substitutions coming on for Tennessee as Joyce Edwards steps to the line. The honorable mention All-America last year, All-SEC. And her scoring numbers, the only player under Dawn Staley to average better than 20 in a single season was Asia Wilson. It's only happened once in the last 2 decades. Knocked loose by Latson. Seeing Dawn in her beloved Philadelphia Eagles jersey, she is sporting the Seahawks jersey today in support of a former South Carolina Gamecock. But there is much more to that story to come from Holly Rowe this afternoon. Please.
Well, guys, she's wearing that jersey because Raven Johnson has a boyfriend who's playing in the Super Bowl today. They call themselves the Seatbelt Gang because he's a safety for the Seahawks, and Raven is known for her great defense. Nick Imanwari, she came in wearing these really cool custom pants, repping him and the Seahawks. She can't go to the game today, but she said, when they win, I will be going to the parade. So putting out some good energy into the universe for the Seahawks.
How about that for those two? A game against Tennessee and a Super Bowl. Nice little Sunday, and right on cue, she got the steal and then lost it, and Tennessee gets it back. Lady Vols with numbers. Barker with the finish.
The last possession, Raven Johnson came up with the steal. South Carolina was in their 2-3 zone. They're playing quite a bit more zone this season than they have in previous years.
And they force another turnover. See style of play under Kim Caldwell, forcing 6 turnovers while allowing South Carolina just 7 field goals thus far, approaching a minute to go in this first quarter. Spearman has it blocked by Tornabese, who joined South Carolina at the break. Barker, fade, baseline, no. Long outlet to Latson, running with Tornabese. Tania will attack and roll.
We talked about the Lady Vols being susceptible to reasons. South Carolina can get out and run in transition. Typically, you send your point guard back defensively. Tennessee puts a premium on the offensive boards, and it leaves them susceptible on the backside.
You guys, you see the heavy knee brace on Tania Latson today. I asked her about it, and she said, hey, nothing keeps me from getting buckets. And you can see, even on that long play, she's moving well with this heavy brace, despite missing last game with this knee injury.
Of course, the big transfer out of the portal from Florida State, where she led the country in scoring a year ago. As you would expect, her usage rate is down this year playing with South Carolina, but her three-point shooting, her field goal percentage, both have improved this year.
And she's shown that she can play with other really good players.
Yep.
And that's a huge thing for Tania Latson as she's trying to get ready to play at the next level, is showing that you can be on the floor and impact winning even if you're not as high usage as you were at your previous school.
And Holly's right, she can get buckets. The active points leader in all of college basketball at over 2,400.
South Carolina in that 2-3 zone again.
Final seconds of this first quarter. Tennessee forced inside the arc, knocked loose, and they will not get a shot off. Today, we cater to her consistency. You got to feed her because she's going to score inside. A 9-2 run to close out that first quarter for South Carolina.
All right, not just scorer, she's become a very good facilitator, finding open teammates as well.
Playing that zone, the 2-3, Cooper tries to shoot over the top of it, tipped back out. Flau'jae, who started her career here at South Carolina, misses the first, and Barker is fouled by Edwards.
So the drive right by Cooper, and that's one of the reasons to go into a zone is Tennessee's had some success in this game, and they've been able to dribble penetrate often. It's been going to their right side, and Dawn Staley was talking to her team about that and their shoot-around today. She said their right hands are real. Prevent them from going that way, and Tennessee's had some success doing it.
Hey, tomorrow night, Reagan Beers and number 11 Oklahoma square off against Michaela Blakes and 7th-ranked Vanderbilt. Coverage begins at 9 o'clock on ESPN2 and the ESPN app. Both of them still very much in the SEC race. Blake's coming off a 37-point performance. She's on that Player of the Year shortlist with Edwards and, of course, Madison Booker, who won it last year in the SEC. How about this trio? Blake's averaging 25 per game, second best in the country. Well, Booker's enjoying her career high, nearly 20 a night.
Yeah, there's some serious talent here in the SEC conference, and Joyce Edwards, one of the best players in the conference. This last possession, Flau'jae Cooper denied her all over the floor, why Raven Johnson could not get her a touch.
Good recognition there by South Carolina to see the mismatch and find Tessa Johnson.
We call that a mouse in the house when there's that kind of a size advantage.
Rebecca's knocked out a lot of mouses in her career. In that house. Crawl. Muscles that up and in.
Nice little drive right, getting into the paint.
Here's Johnson off the Kennedy's screen, and Cooper stepping into the passing lane against Edwards for the lay-in.
Another possession. So the last possession, she did not allow Edwards to catch it. Deny, deny, deny. That time, great job denying again, then jumping the route and getting the easy two the other way.
Because of the steals and the turnovers forced, they've taken 5 more shots already than South Carolina has in this first half. Getting those possessions that are crucial for their style of play. Johnson on the drive and a foul.
Talked about Joyce Edwards not only being able to score, but facilitating as well, and just delivers it perfectly. Foul and exacerbated there. Dawn Staley, a little bit of frustration.
Well, we've talked about, this is a fight for first place in the SEC. Tennessee has not won the regular season in over a decade. But also, they're fighting to stay at home for the NCAA tournament. They are fighting to prove that they can compete with the best in the country. 6 of their last 8 games will be quad 1 games.
Brutal stretch of their schedule.
Will say a lot about where the future of this program is headed. They've had it relatively easy so far in league play, but it's going to toughen up considerably starting today. Charlie Cream right now has them as the last 4 seed, and a bad loss today would drop them out of the host line with a month left to go in the regular season. Cooper, deep 3, no. Paldo play on through the shot clock buzzer because it hit the rim. Last touched by South Carolina.
Just hovering over the iPad.
And doesn't look like she's going to appeal this one.
Oh. But right away, a cop kind of nodded her head like, yeah, that was out on me. And that's what can happen against a full court press. If you can get past that front line, you'll have numbers the other way.
Barker stepping into the 3, rattles out. Edwards tied up. And it would be South Carolina ball.
Johnson with the great pass to Edwards.
Gamecocks come in averaging 88 points per game. That is on pace to set a new school record. They've always defended real well. This group scores as well as any darn team.
Seeing South Carolina have some really nice success so far in this game, getting in the paint. 18 of their 31 coming in the paint. They have been a dominant paint team since Dawn Staley got here.
Second most paint points per game in the country, behind LSU. Team they will see next weekend. More on that to come. Latson, fadeaway won't go. Paldo, good handiwork, and Barker moves the puppies. Wholesale substitutions again for Tennessee. Talaysia Cooper is the only Lady Vol to average over 25 minutes a game. They've had 17 different lineups in their 21 games. There's some math involved. There's an eye test involved for Kim Caldwell on the build-up towards game time. Johnson. Fouled on the drive.
One of the things that makes Tessa Johnson so difficult to defend. We've already seen her hit a 3. You have to respect the fact that she's efficient from deep, and then when you come out on her, she also has the explosive first step getting to the bucket.
Junior from Minnesota. Really grabbed the public's attention in that 2024 Final Four. En route to the Gamecocks winning the national championship undefeated, the 3rd for South Carolina and Dawn Staley.
I want to ask you, Dee, because we're seeing Kim Caldwell over on the side during free throws, talking to the officials with a smile on her face throughout the game. How much does that impact maybe how things are going in terms of officiating when you're able to have kind of a rapport with coaches?
It's very positive, and Coach Caldwell really is one of the best coaches of doing just that, talking to the official, not demeaning them, not abusing them in any manner, but actually talking and being respectful. So it's always good communication.
Any persuasion going on over there that we can discuss publicly, Dee?
They hope so. They hope so.
There's a 3 from Z Spearman.
Spearman hit a couple in their last game against Georgia as well, and that's one of the things that's so enticing when you look at this young woman at her size and her length, her ability to face up from the perimeter.
They started out 3 for 4, then missed 5 in a row, and now Spearman able to drain one. 2-possession game, approaching 5 minutes to go in the first half. 3 is on the way, and it is good from Isla McDowell. in traffic. Latham with a tough catch and a lay-in.
A really tough catch because that was just pick and roll, but she had two defenders around her when she went up to get the basketball.
There's a pass that would be a backcourt violation. And of course, this one for first place in the SEC. Hard to believe we're headed towards the home stretch. Right now, South Carolina projected as a 1 seed along with Texas, UCLA, and UConn. Strong likelihood that the Huskies will roll through the rest of the season undefeated.
You heard in studio Andrea Carter talking about offensive rebounding for Tennessee, keeping them in this. It's so hard when teams take deep threes to box out and corral defensive boards because they are long. You almost saw Janiah Barker get another offensive board there.
Raven Johnson's pass, not a good one there. And the turnovers mounting. That's 9 now in the first half for the Gamecocks. They only average 13 a game, so that speaks to how good this Tennessee chaos can be. And really disrupting the opposition. Under 4 to play in the half. And Barker's pass over the head of Pardo.
Tennessee's gotten a little stagnant against the zone, whether it's in 2-3 or against the 1-3-1. They're just slowed down. There hasn't been a lot of movement by players or the basketball.
I'll stay here with South Carolina. Johnson to inbound. Kim Caldwell was considering an appeal, but won't. On the inbound, nice fake by Edwards. And a trip to the free throw line coming, where South Carolina in this first half is 10 for 10.
The first quarter of this game was fast-paced, up and down both ways, and then it's come to a little bit of a grinding halt here the last couple of minutes.
What you got for us, Holly?
Well, not only is Joyce Edwards unbelievable on the court, National Player of the Year type candidate, but here's what she's dealing with academically. She is taking a Sustainability and Fashion 3-week seminar, Environmental Science and Policy class with labs, dealing with data and energy consumption, Biology, Environmental Policy class, and American Trial Advocacy class. That's all this semester.
A full slate. Backdoor cut, Latson from Raven. Pardo weaving into the lane. Will kick it out to Barker. And that's way off. Tessa Johnson rebound, and look at this run out. Johnson will take it herself.
Time and continuing to fight. She said, the style with which we play, we can get points back in bunches, and that's what she's going to need from her team these last 3 minutes.
Yeah, she needs a similar effort to what they did against Connecticut in the first half, when they did fight back, tied the game at the break, and then things really got away from them in the second half.
The zone has done a really good job of getting Tennessee out of their flow.
Yep. Take away. Ooh, a lot of contact, no whistle there. Pardo will pull up in transition for 3. A caught, had it. And it's out of bounds off of Barker. Here's one of the things that's at stake for Tennessee. Of course, long dominant under Pat Summitt in the Southeastern Conference and nationally with the 8 national championships. But it's been South Carolina over the last decade with Dawn Staley. 5 straight trips to the Final Four with a couple of national championships during that stretch. Another runner-up finish a year ago. Edwards, second chance, rolls around and in. three, good. Nia Robertson.
And we finally saw this ball changing sides of the floor that time on that possession for Tennessee. Much better look.
Johnson, 15-footer, nailed it. And a well-balanced attack in this first half for South Carolina. Robertson will try again from the other side. And the weak side rebound. Picked. Latson. The jump stop and the finish.
How about when Latson picked the pocket, went the other way? She had two teammates sprinting down in case she missed. Tennessee had one defender back.
Final minute of the half, and that one's off the mark from Paldo. And Raven says, let's hold it for the last shot. A caught. And Raven tries to beat the buzzer, no good, but for them, if they're going to get back into this thing in what starts just an absolute brutal run of their schedule to close out the season with 6 of their last 8 against ranked teams.
Just see Raven Johnson just put her hand up in the air because she has the size advantage. Just throw it up here. I'm like the big sister. I'll go get it.
She tried to lob over the top to Edwards. 4th best all-time in assists here at South Carolina, and she picks up another there.
Well, Robertson got stuck on Joyce Edwards there, and Edwards with the size advantage and just calling for the basketball and finishing.
Raven 9 points, 4 assists. Here's Janiah Barker, and another and one opportunity for Tania.
Oh, this has just delighted me so much, so we have to revisit it. Raven Johnson trying to get the ball back. Look at her. I'm right here. She's smaller than me. Just throw the ball right there, and we're all set, and then delivers again. Size advantage for South Carolina that time. It was Joyce Edwards, and Raven Johnson delivers her the basketball.
Raven at 5'9", towering over the 5'6" Mia Paldo.
Do you have older siblings?
Yes.
Like, it just makes me think when you're the younger kid and they're bigger and they just hold something over your head, like, you can't get it, you can't get it.
Things are going Carolina's way right now. And Tennessee, where they struggled against a top 5 foe in UCLA. They struggled against
short, and of course Tania Latson in the big knee brace. I know they wanted to be smart about their
6 senior from Kenya.
Just to have that rim protection inside. Barker able to get past the first line of defense. Just coming over and blocking the shot.
Well, in reference to Holly's comment too there, Rebecca, if you're South Carolina, you want to step on the gas, bust this thing wide open, so maybe you can rest some players in the 4th quarter.
The problem is they don't really have
not a whole lot of others
bodies to put it in.
They can pick and choose. And for Tennessee, can they show their head coach the fight that she's been talking about? When things go awry, and this is not the way to do it. Another fast break opportunity. Latson with the save to Edwards. "24 fast break points. And a 10-0 run out of the locker room. As Tennessee continues to ponder that zone. Shot clock winding down, and a deep 3 for Cooper. And some emotion from Flau'jae, who's back home in her native South Carolina.
And that's one of the reasons you play a zone, is to make a team ponder, make them think, make them slow down, and not just be able to play with their typical rhythm.
Hasn't always been in Dawn Staley's playbook, but it is today. And an easy, uncontested layup on the drive from Tessa. Latson with a steal. And it has been
8. We could get down 12, and we trusted that we could fight our way back. And certainly these first 4 minutes of this third quarter, we haven't seen any of that fight.
Holly was just in the huddle. Holly?
Well, guys, I was really impressed by something I saw in Tennessee's huddle. It's the freshman, Mia Paldo, with the ball in her hands right now. She was the voice in the huddle, trying to get her teammates to do a better job working together, having some pride, and getting back on defense. I think it's interesting because she's the youngest one on the squad right now, but she had the biggest voice in that huddle. And then when Kim Caldwell came in and sat down, she is challenging literally everything. We've got to quit turning it over. We've got to all protect the rim. Just like basic things that they should have a little more personal pride in. She is really challenging them.
And when they do turn it over, they need to sprint back. Sometimes we've seen just one player like sprinting full back, and some of the others are jogging.
Paldo has come out of the huddle with some intensity, trying to defend on Johnson. Forces a tough shot, but there's an offensive rebound. And there's a charge. The caught got into Barker.
It's a little more hustle, okay? A little bit better coming out of that, and then Janiah Barker going in to take the charge. You're nodding your head, D?
Rebecca, you could have made that call.
I like to think I'd be a good referee.
You like to think.
Quick three from Robertson. They'll get another possession. 8 for 9 to open up the second half for South Carolina. Still trying to figure out that zone. 5 on the shot clock. Robertson. And there's a foul. Edwards running into Prawl. Second on Joyce.
Just racing out for the closeout, Joyce Edwards was, and oof. I like to think I'd be a good referee, D. That was definitely a foul.
Yes.
You're spot on. There is a future for you. I think you can do it.
Edwards will check out. Alicia Tornabes, the 6'7" freshman from France, comes on. This is her 8th game since joining the team after the holiday break. Three-pointer short. McCott with another rebound. Johnson calling for a screen. Two-man game. Medina bothered on the drive by Prawl. Leak out the other way is Spearman.
Taniya Latson loving it.
Big girl is now 3 for 4 from downtown in her young career. Debuted on January 15th.
One thing she just has to get accustomed to is sort of the physicality of the women's college game. But when she has space or can get just a one-on-one defender, she is a potent offensive player.
And Tornabes walked.
We've seen how good South Carolina has been in their zone today. It has been a problem for Tennessee coming down offensively. What's remarkable about South Carolina this season is, they're not a team that's playing a lot of zone, but they're playing a lot more zone than they ever have. The previous 4 seasons combined, South Carolina played 96 possessions of zone. This season they have already played 98 possessions of zone. And you see why. Look at how big and long they are on the backside of it.
And this may be the most extensive minutes in that zone today. Off of the 12th offensive rebound. And that's going to be a foul on Tennessee. Hey, next Sunday on ABC, how about a women's college basketball double dip for you? Carolina Duke at 1 o'clock, Texas Tennessee at 3 o'clock. That's next Sunday on ABC. The Duke Blue Devils alone in first place after a road win at Louisville. There is a chance that Kara Lawson's club could run the table. There has not been an unbeaten ACC champ in 10 years. Latson to Tessa. Pretty basketball from Carolina. Their 15th assist of the day. Parker spins into a double team. Cooper for three. Got it. She's got 14. That's her fourth triple.
Flau'jae Cooper's played well here in her return to South Carolina.
They have 8 threes and 7 twos today. And it's been a struggle offensively. Edwards spins, fouled. Joyce to the line.
Just see the penetrate and kick by Tanaya Latson, and then great step back here. Tessa Johnson just continues her torrid pace from three.
They are enjoying the afternoon on the South Carolina side of things with a 28-point lead, and now pride is on the line for Tennessee in these final 10 minutes. 28 is their largest SEC loss ever. Mississippi State in 2019, you certainly don't want to see that so close to their largest loss ever in the UConn series a couple of games ago. Paldo, triple, no. Johnson has it. About a 4-second difference, shot and game clock. McDowell not worried about that. Tornabees. Offensive rebound around and down. First baseline will kick it back out. Cooper's going to get a look. Edwards. Now that'll do it for this third quarter. Saturday night on ABC. 30-point lead into the fourth quarter. Well-balanced attack offensively, a 2-3 zone that has really caused major problems for Tennessee's offense. And the 6'7" Frenchwoman is dropping threes on them.
The Tennessee guards came out and were playing really hard out on the perimeter. And the Tornabees is like, okay, that's fine. Cute for you. It steps in and hits the corner three.
That is her second of the game. So let me do my math, which is always a dangerous proposition here, but is now 4 for 5 on the year.
It's 80%, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, this is your 6'7" freshman. She just steps right into it in the corner. She really does have a beautiful, beautiful stroke. Ooh, Parker was a little bit in her landing space, too.
Almost had a shot at a 4-point play there. Edwards down on the deck, and the dive for the held ball goes to Tennessee. Going to find out a little bit more about the Lady Vols here in this last quarter and what kind of fight they've got in them.
Kim Caldwell had to like seeing Civil there, diving on the floor for the loose ball, helping get that possession back.
Still to come, ranked foes Texas, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, LSU, and Vanderbilt. So counting today, that is 4 games against the top 10. They will have played the top 7 teams in the country by the end of the regular season. And how will they fare against that mix? South Carolina has been shooting the lights out. Johnson. That won't fall. Second chance up and in from McDowell. 3 ball on the way, no. And Johnson has the rebound. Lost it as she hit the deck. Robertson, deep three. Another offensive rebound. They've been getting second chances, not converting. They are now 8 for 35 from downtown. That's been a significant marker in the Tennessee losses this year. Poor three-point shooting. Edwards, and they will be flirting with 70% field goal percentage here today.
That's one of the things Joyce Edwards is really good at, and it happens in transition sometimes as well, but she just gets a player on her shoulder and she can go right through to score.
She's got 17, Latson with 17, Tessa Johnson has 14. And this South Carolina program will take over the driver's seat. And they're trying to win their 54th SEC home game in a row.
I mean, we've been talking all game about Joyce Edwards, and when she can face up to the basket and just nice little decel there, going around and finishing, and one as well.
Of course, we've been watching number one undefeated UConn riding a 41-game winning streak. Their last loss was to Tennessee. And as Edwards steps to the line, Holly Rowe, there's a whole lot of streaking going on around the country.
Well, we absolutely have to shout out NYU women's basketball today. They have just broken the Division III consecutive win streak record with their 82nd win. Meg Barber is the coach. They have won the last 2 national championships for Division III, and the NYU Violets, we see you. We see the greatness and the excellence. 82 straight wins. Well done, ladies.
Way to go, NYU. Out of bounds to South Carolina.
See, there's a whole lot of streaking going on.
I did say there was a whole lot of streaking
going on in San Diego, Beth?
Well, I hate to say it in front of the rest of the country, but the weather's been nice enough out there if you're into such streaking things. It is a 10-0 run to start the fourth quarter for South Carolina. And they find themselves up 40 and are flirting now with handing Tennessee the worst loss in school history. They continue to hammer away. Runs of 9-2, 11-3, 14-3. They started out the third quarter on a 10-0 run, and now it's a 12-0 run to start the fourth. Wipe that one off, or a traveling violation. So under 6 to go here in Columbia. 32 is the worst loss to Belmont back in the 70s. 28 is the worst SEC loss to Mississippi State. Account with another rebound. That's her 15th of the day. Raven Johnson off the window. And a steal and a foul by the Latson. 1-on-4, and she got the ball.
I'm just marveling at the lineup on the floor for South Carolina. They've got Akot on the floor at 6'6". They've got Tornabese on the floor at 6'7", because Tornabese can face up. And so she's kind of roaming the perimeter, setting the on-ball screens, picking and popping, still giving Akot whatever room she needs to in the paint. The versatility that this freshman brings to the South Carolina front court is something that's really going to continue to help them throughout the rest of this season.
Latson hits on the first for one of the best women's basketball matchups. Comes your way tomorrow night on the SEC Network. Kentucky and Texas. Of course, Texas and South Carolina right now projected by Charlie Cream's bracketology as #1 seeds. Still with work to do to stay on that top line. That also may determine which one of these teams is in a regional in Fort Worth and which one of them would be in a regional in Sacramento.
Tornabees, when she has her hands up, takes up almost the entire paint.
Yep.
Side to side.
They've got 6'7" and 6'6" together now along that baseline, and that's going to be a foul on Barker. Raven with 11 points, 7 assists. She's got a couple of steals and has been running this offense. The foul there.
Really well executed play by South Carolina out of that timeout, just setting the little big screen and going to work there for a caught.
You think Dawn's got a Jersey guy here in town, or how far out in advance does she have to order an Neiman Warrior jersey?
Are you guys crazy? Of course he has custom. The Seahawks have custom set. Do you know who you're dealing with? This is Dawn Staley. She can get whatever she wants, whenever she wants, from whomever she wants, and they're going to FedEx that right in here and make sure she's got it. That is a real jersey.
Yes. A dominating performance to take over first place by themselves in the SEC. And a turnover there. So the story here down the stretch, unfortunately for Tennessee, they are looking for their first points of this fourth quarter. And they are trying to avoid the worst defeat in school history. This program under Pat Summitt, 18 Final Fours, 8 national championships, 31 SEC championships, and it has been a rough stretch for the Lady Vols after the loss to UConn and now a loss to South Carolina. Gamecocks will have the week to get ready for their road trip to LSU. Line of back to the pack. And Tennessee will have some soul searching when they get back home to Knoxville. They have Missouri coming up midweek and then Texas next Sunday.
See Tornabees' face after she threw that ball away. It was such a young player's reaction to a turnover. She's like, whoops, puts her hand to her mouth.
3 minutes to go. Don't forget tomorrow night on ESPN2, Vandy and Oklahoma as Robertson hits the 3. Thursday night it's TCU and Baylor. That'll be for first place in the Big 12. And then, of course, College Game Day will be in Baton Rouge next weekend. Saturday night primetime on ABC for Carolina LSU. Scramble for the loose ball.
I am so looking forward to that game next Saturday, South Carolina at LSU. They played there a couple of years ago. The student section was just incredible. The atmosphere, both of these teams, when they play at their best, capable of being championship contenders.
Impressive for South Carolina with the return of Taniyah Latson after she missed the last couple of games. Still no Agat McKeer and Maddie McDaniel, one of their other perimeter players, did not play today.
Agat McKeer has been really, really good for South Carolina in stretches this season. That's nice length on the perimeter for them.
So after Connecticut outscored Tennessee by 30 in the second half, that is what South Carolina is doing in this second half. Relentless offensively. The field goal percentage is at 60% now for the game. And that 2-3 zone was a big difference maker at the other end of the floor for South Carolina. Latson on the drive, got into the defender. And one for Flau'jae Cooper.
Tell you what, I've been impressed with Flau'jae Cooper. She has been a player in the orange who has continued to compete, and she's communicated with her team. She's tried to get them to huddle. She's been a vocal leader for Tennessee in this game.
Well, she has got a homecoming of sorts. She played for South Carolina as a freshman. She's from about 2 hours away, Turbeville, South Carolina, but she transferred down to Tennessee. This is the first time she's been back in this building and played in a game since she transferred out of here. So a lot of emotion. She has about 30 to 40 family members here supporting her today, and she has played hard and played well, Rebecca. I know it's not been their day, but she has given great individual effort.
She's competed. That's what you want from your players. You know, shots sometimes aren't going to go in, as you see Cooper step in for that one. You're going to turn it over, you're going to make mistakes. She has competed consistently in this game.
And they will need more of that in this final month of the regular season. Charlie Cream thought that a bad loss today for Tennessee would drop them out of a host position. And that may be the case in his next bracketology on Tuesday morning on ESPN.com as Raven Johnson scores. That does open a door, by the way, possibly for Kentucky tomorrow night. They will be playing at Texas on the SEC Network. Really good week of college hoops still to come. And for Tennessee, they had 3 30-point losses in their first 57 years, and now they have 2 in the last week. As the Gamecocks will hand them the worst loss in school history. 93-50.